Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Angelica, and for my first video of this year I thought that I would show you some of my art from last year. Not all of my art that I did, because my inking in October pieces are already made as videos, so you can find them here on my channel. But the rest that I did of last year I will show you. I didn't start to upload videos with my paintings until August of last year, so most of this you will never have seen before. So with that being said, let's start and go through them. So this is my first piece from last year. I use Fine-Tech Colero watercolors, which are the shimmery ones, and I also use gouache. So in different lightings you get different effects on this painting, which is quite nice. And I used a cheap black paper for this. I think it's made by Daler Rowney, and it can take a few layers of watercolor. So that's the first one. And then I did a test piece on Bristol paper, and this is made with watercolor and also the Colero Fine-Tech shimmery watercolors and some inks. And I can say that the Bristol paper can take also a few layers of watercolor, so it is perfect for those simpler pieces. And it makes the colors look quite bright. That's that one. And here we have my only piece in acrylic from last year. I had decided that I would use some different mediums and make paintings with last year, but the watercolors did work so well for me, so most of my pieces from last year are in watercolors. And this acrylic piece I made on paper, arches, specially prepared paper. I do believe it's for oil, but you can also use acrylic on it. And here we have a watercolor winter landscape. And I really love this blue color, which are from Winsor & Newton. I think it's called Smalt Dumont or Dumont Smalt or something like that. And I do believe it was a limited edition color. And it was perfect for this painting. And here you can see that I also use some white gouache on the trees. And then we have a moose, the first one I have ever painted, and I do recall that I spent quite a lot of time on this painting. And the background I am not so happy with. I had quite a struggle with that. But I did learn from it, so that was good. And I do like how the paint did lay down on this cold pressed watercolor paper, so you get the effect of fur here. And here we have my golden retriever Vitra, made in mostly the Colero Fine-Tech gold colors, and I used some gouache on this. And I do believe it's dog hair on it, because she is shredding like crazy right now, so there is dog hair everywhere. And the paper I used for this one is a black watercolor paper, and I wasn't too happy with it. I think it's quite a soft paper. Before I got this pad, I bought a little test pad, and I like the paper in that much better. So I have never used this black paper since this painting. So yeah, but here is a fun thing you can do when you have black paper and use those shimmering colors on it. And then we have a cat, the first cat that I have ever painted. And this is also in watercolor, and I believe the paper is Arches hot pressed. So yeah, nothing much to say about this, it's just a cat. And I did experiment to paint the fur, and I don't think that I succeed so well, but you have to test to learn. So that's that one. And then we have my only charcoal painting from last year. A bird of some sort, I can't remember which kind of bird. And I use charcoal sticks for this one. I tried to use the pens, but I thought they were too hard to use. I feel that the sticks, or at least the sticks that I have, are much softer than the pens. And the paper for this, I do believe it is Strathmore drawing paper. It has a little bit of a cream tone to it, and it has some texture. And I do like this paper. The only problem I have with it is that it is a little bit thin for my taste. So yeah, my only charcoal drawing of 2020. And here I did some experiment with making the reflection in the water. And I'm not really sure what happened up here. But I tried to lighten the paper because I had put down too much color. And I used tissue paper to remove it, and then I got those spots here and there that I couldn't get rid of. So that's a little bit sad, but live and learn. And here I had an experiment with some watercolor paper, 3 different kinds. And I made the same subject on each of them. And this is Arches hot pressed, this is Canson Heritage hot pressed, and this is Saunders Waterford hot pressed. They all are 100% cotton and 300 GSM. So after I did this test, I bought a couple of pads of the Canson Heritage watercolor paper. But I do really like the Saunders Waterford watercolor paper, because this paper has a creamy color to it, so the painting looks a little bit different, and these ones that have a more white, or is white I should say. But the Saunders Waterford are a little bit expensive than the other ones. So I haven't bought a pad of that brand yet, but I'm thinking of it. And then here we have an owl. And this is one of my favorite paintings from last year. And this was quite fun to test out with the feathers to create them. And here I have also used some white gouache for the white parts, especially here around the eyes. And this is made on Arches cold pressed, I do believe, yeah. And here we have a very colorful piece, and I hope the camera picks up these colors. I had bought a new tube of watercolors when I painted this, and that was Mayan Blue Genuine from Daniel Smith, and that colors create quite a nice granulation effect. And I wasn't aware of that until the color had dried, but it it was a nice surprise. And here we have the piece from my first speed painting here on my channel. So if you want to see me create this, you can just check around amongst my videos, so there you will find this. And this was made with Schminka Horadam watercolors, and I do believe the paper is Canson Heritage hot pressed, because it's a little bit larger than my Arches paper, so therefore it must be that. And here another piece from another video, and this was my first attempt with water soluble graphite, and here I draw my Norwegian elk hound Tara that is no longer alive. And later on I add some white gouache to the eyes, because I did overwork the eyes quite a lot, so they got a graphite shine to them, but with some gouache it looks much better. And here is another piece from another video, a pansy in watercolor. And here we have a panda that was supposed to be a video, but I did not notice that my memory card was full, and I didn't realize it until quite a bit later. So that was a little bit sad. And this is also by Schminka Horadam. And another piece from another video. This is my golden retriever Vitra, also on Arches cold pressed. So this you can also see. And then we have a couple of spoiler alerts. So this will probably be my next video, so I will not show it so much. That's enough. And this will also be coming up as a video soon. So that's enough of them. And here we have the pieces from my tutorials that I did in December. So if you have missed them, go and look them up on my channel. And I don't consider myself as a teacher, but I hope they are easy to follow along anyway. So the first one was a winter bird, a blue tit, and the second one was a snowman, and then we have a candle with some branches, and the last one was a close-up of a Christmas tree with some ornaments and some garlands and some lighting. And for my last pieces of last year, I did join Jean Hines online watercolor school, and I did follow some of her tutorials. The first one was of these snowdrops, and I do really love snowdrops. And in the description box below I will leave a link to her online art school, because if you like to paint in a loose style, or if you want to paint in a loose style, you will get some very helpful tips from her videos. So here is my first attempt, and then I try again and did the snowdrops a little bit closer. So that's how they look. And here is a painting when I try to do white flowers. And if you don't know how to keep the white of the paper, she has some very useful tips. And with this piece I overworked it a bit, but I did learn from it, so That's the point. And here we have my largest piece from last year, and I did this after the first 2 Snowdrops paintings. So the first 2 was for beginner, and this was more an advanced tutorial. And this was so fun to make. I had so much fun to make this and to use the colors a little bit wild and to be able to paint some white flowers that I love. So this was just a joy to make the whole painting, and this is the first watercolor piece, and I do believe the first piece I have done so far in a large size. This is an A3 size. And the funny thing was that I did told my mother just a few days earlier that I have started to feel that A4 was a little bit small size to work on. So next year I will start to paint on A3 size. And a few days after I saw this tutorial, and I just knew that I had to use a large size for this. So yeah, I can really recommend her school. And you can be a monthly member or a yearly member. So yeah, really recommend that you check it out. And as I said, I will leave a link in the description box below to her online school. So that's all of the pieces that I did. Not all, I do believe I had to give away a couple of pieces. One piece that was supposed to be a video between Christmas and New Year's Eve, but my voice wasn't good enough to make the voiceover at that time, and now it seems a little bit too late to make a video of it because it's a Christmas card. So that you will never see. So I hope you have had a fun or at least interesting time to see my art from last year. And I really hope that you have been inspired to paint. That's one of the things that I think is so great with YouTube and art channels, that you can look at their speed paintings or when they paint in real time, and you can get so inspired that you want to paint for yourself. So with that being said, I hope you have a great day and that your year has started great, or at least better than last year. And I hope I will see you in my next video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. So bye bye.